And we're live.
Hello and welcome to Midweek Gaming. We're back once again on this fine Wednesday evening. Well, at least in the UK, the snow's gone. Well, at least it has where I live anyway. I can walk down the street now. Breaking my knee again. So anyway, if you want to check out a great website, please check out www.bg4gpub.com. It's a great website for news, opinion pieces, reviews, podcasts, and so much more. If you'd like a custom gamer picture like mine, well, mess that up, please go to www.xboxgamepass.com and welcome Telegonic, welcome Goat Force, Masuko, Tushi, Animated Evil. Oh, I've done that chat thing again. So, yeah, I'm in here. How are we, Mr. Tushi, then?
I'm all right, ready to roll.
Have you touched your console much recently?
No. I was meant to go on. Yeah, I was meant to go on last night, but Mrs. hogged the TV. So, and today I couldn't be asked to even turn it on. I've got it on now. But I'm on the store.
You live there, don't you?
I need to cancel it. Get out of it.
Before we start spending, maybe by the end of the show, I've spent 80 quid, lads.
No.
Yeah, not that low.
Yeah,
I've got to be good.
Yeah. Welcome, Animated Evil. How are you doing? Or shall I come back to you because now you're busy at the minute?
No, we're good. We're good. We've eaten. We've had a day of it. Got in late. I've just the quickest meal I've ever eaten in the last 7 minutes. He's gone mental. Yeah, I'm good, sir. Thanks for having me on again as usual. What have I been playing this week? I've been playing. Do you know what? I can't get off Dragon Quest and golf. Right now, there's nothing for me other than Dragon Quest, which is in Game Pass, people, and golf. PGA Tour, get it? It's brilliant.
No.
Stubbs, come on! You've got to join the fun.
No, I don't get it. I just don't
get it. Get a stick with a ball. Come on, you're used to that.
I will eventually, probably.
I got to admit, PJ.
There you go. It's recorded. It's recorded. We're wearing him down. All we've got to do is keep nattering a little bit.
Well,
we're wearing him down.
Tweet Phil Spencer and say, put it in Game Pass. Saying that though, if it's EA, it will eventually, but it'll be the old version then, won't it? And you lot would have all bought the new versions.
No, I don't think they're the older PGAs, isn't there? Are they?
No. Oh, okay.
I'm going to look now while we're talking.
Fair enough.
It's 2K, isn't it? It's not.
Oh, sorry.
It's 2K.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Right, I'm wrong.
It's a the HP Studios is a subsidiary owned by 2K, I think.
Oh, fair enough. But no, yeah, good to hear Animated. Now, VJ.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Not too bad. I hope I'm not being rude. I'm keeping one eye on the Nintendo Direct while the podcast is going on.
I don't have the capability to stream it alongside, otherwise I would.
But thank you for inviting me on back onto the show.
It's good to have you on. Have you been playing anything other than Hollow Knight recently? And he's got an announcement, everyone. Tell everyone how much % you've completed Hollow Knight.
I haven't completed
9.9.
About 100 and what removal said. Yeah, I've been playing Hollow Knight, but as animated beating me to the punch, I just kickstarted Dragon Quest again for the second time, but in 2D mode. And I've got Spiritfarer ready to go after Hollow Knight, which I'm almost done with. So
fair enough. And Mr. Removal Sanity, how are you doing? And have you been playing many games?
A bit tired, but yeah, I'm doing exceptionally well. You know, I've managed to get some sleep. That's always a nice thing. I've only stuck with one game because I'm actually reviewing it at the time. So it's currently out on Xbox. It's called Endurance, and hopefully that should come by the end of this week, maybe beginning of next week, the review. So yeah, I've been getting that sorted and making sure that I've really understand the proper control system, everything about it, so I can talk about it.
That's good to hear. Now, actually, this is our first guest of the year. Actually, I'd like to introduce you to Lewis, aka VENOMOUS. He writes reviews for BG4G Hub and Rapid Reviews UK, I believe, and he's a streamer as well, isn't you, Lewis?
Yeah, I was actually streaming before the show, actually.
Good to hear. Welcome, and you've been listening to some of the podcasts, and you wanted to give it a go, so I thought I'd let you on, and you can see what it's all about. He's just talking shit, basically.
Yeah, man, it's nice. You meet all different types of people, hear stories, give your opinion, and have a laugh. And I thought, hey, I'd like to give that a go. And I'm honoured that you've, invited me on. My very first. I'm nervous so nervous.
No,
just relax.
Don't be. Just chill out, right? Put your feet up.
Have a beer.
I said to someone the other day, it's not a job interview. Someone's gonna ask you a question, and you're gonna give your opinion. That's all it is.
Yeah. Put my feet up. I'm gonna knock the laptop off the end. So,
you will be tested at the end of this, by the way.
I'm with VENOMOUS actually. When I was on Boom Show for the first time, I was terrified. But,
really?
Yeah.
To be fair, I would as well.
Yeah, I was
They
really
know
nervous.
that. They know what they're on about.
Noof Nukem gave me a pep talk behind the scenes and says, just shut up and put up and just say what you've got to say, and the show will be over before you know it. And I said, all right then.
And now he's an Xbox game, and now he's an Xbox Factor Podcast regular panel member. So you must have done something right, VJ.
Yeah, I just waffled a bit in the Queen's English, and they were really impressed. I don't know why. But...
What code have you just dropped, Mr. Tushi?
It's a game.
You could have said so. You just dropped a code. Fair enough.
See if anyone secretly finds it.
I don't think Mr. Tushi can go through this entire show without purchasing a game.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen.
Quick.
Just one thing though. If you do use it, please let everybody know in the chat, so they don't have to end up spending the entire podcast looking for it.
It's nothing big, don't worry. It's just a little game. But it's a childhood game of mine. So it's a classic. You'll see when someone posts it.
Welcome, Goat Force. I tell you what, Goat Force Gaming has been doing some really good streams recently. I'm about to pull up his YouTube because he's going to come on the Stubbscast soon, but he turned me down. And he said, only when I hit 100 subs, because I don't feel like I've earned it. So I'm just checking his channel now, and he's at 68 subscribers, so well done. You haven't got many to go, so you should be able to get there soon. He didn't turn me down. Goat Force Gaming. He's a really good. He does a lot of streaming.
There you go. He's got another now.
There you go. Good. But no, he just didn't feel like he wanted to come on until at least got 100 subscribers. So he'd be good. He's a good streamer on YouTube. Does some good streams.
Hey, I've only got 35.
You got more than Mrs. Tushi then.
I got 35.
Yeah, but you have to
welcome
subscribe as well.
Welcome, BLD. I think that's a friend of yours,
Yeah,
VENOMOUS.
yeah, one of my friends.
Welcome, Masuko, and welcome, Infinite. Thanks for stopping by. One of the Gamers United Guild's brothers from the Retro Renegade show. Thanks for stopping by. Right, let's get into some topics now. Today, Mr. Tushi and Removal Sanity, the DMs are going a bit crazy over some news. Microsoft's new FPS Boost mode for Xbox Series X and S can double the frame rates in games. Microsoft is launching a new FPS Boost feature for its latest Xbox Series X and Series S consoles that's designed to make existing games run better. While Microsoft has previously focused on improving frame rates and backwards compatibility for its latest Xbox consoles, the FPS Boost is specifically designed to improve older games without developers having to put in additional work. Some games will nearly double in frame rates, and Microsoft has said, I've seen a few instances where backwards compatible titles even quadruple in frame rates. The first games to support this FPS Boost mode so far are Far Cry 4, New Super Lucky's Tale, Sniper Elite 4, UFC 4, and Watch Dogs 2. The improvements vary across games, with the new Super Lucky's Tale now running at up to 120 frames per second, and UFC 4 includes up to 60 frames per second in performance mode on the Xbox Series S specifically. Games that work with FPS Boost will include a new indicator when you hit the Xbox button on the controller, just like how Quick Resume or Auto HDR indicators pop up today on Xbox Series S and S. This is got the rest of the article here. This is just the beginning, explains Paul Engineer, a senior program manager at Xbox. We will announce and release more titles featuring the FPS Boost mode soon, as we roll out new menus, new icons, and system settings in an upcoming update. So, from what I can gather, I have watched Colt Eastwood's video. I'm not very technical on how this method works, but from what I understand, the reason I've seen a lot of moaning online. The reason they haven't had many games out because it's a new system to come up with, and they have to ask every developer for permission. They can't just go ahead and do it because that developer might want to roll out their own next gen patch or do a remaster, or so in general they need permission to do it. So, seeing as Mr. Tushi was the one blowing the DM up to start with, do you want to talk on it?
Yeah, it's exciting. That's all I can say. The first thing that comes to mind, it's I thought it was impressive what they've done already regarding the backwards compatibility. Never mind, adding this on top what we've had already with the Series X, because the machine learning on its own brings all the resolution up and stuff, and this brings up the frames up like crazy as well. I just feel like it's all the games that we've brought in, say the last generation or two. It feels like we've never been able to experience the game properly until now. That's how I feel. Like, for example, like the Division 2, everyone's going back to it, and loads of other games. It just feels like every game runs how it's supposed to now. It's nice. It's nice going back for your old games though. But it's not. It'd be nice when they start rolling these out. Is it monthly they're doing it? Did they say?
I think they said that a couple of games every month. It just depends on what games they're. From what I gather, this is like get authorized to do, because you're going to get some games that are going to say no. Some games are going to say yeah, and some games I don't know how backward. But I know backwards compatibility, but I don't know whether sometimes money had to change hands. I don't know, but I'd imagine with certain titles they would have had to pay them to do it, even though Xbox are willing to, convert it back to for the Xbox One for free. Some companies would have wanted money for it, wouldn't they? Welcome Midway Monster. Welcome Matt Barnes.
Hey Caitlin, what's wrong with my hoodie?
Welcome Caitlin. Thanks for stopping by. But no, yeah, you're right. It's very exciting. It is.
It kind of feels like a PC game, and you buy a game, and whatever hardware you have, when you upgrade your GPU, for example, you can play your game a lot better, and so on. That's what it feels like now. You can go back through your old library and play whatever you want at the best possible outcome, basically.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's good.
I agree with that to an extent, but it's a bit. It's fully open on PC. It is,
yeah.
It's getting close to that, but you'll never get there. But
you will, but it's heading that way. It's
heading that way. It is. You're right. You are.
Just need to unlock the get around all the licensing issues with the like the other games, like even classics like Need for Speed Underground 2, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I know it's going to be impossible because the licensing and stuff, and maybe one day.
You never know. You never know. So, have you got any thoughts on this Venomous?
Well, yes. I like the fact that they are trying to make games older generation even better on the Series X. See, I haven't got a Series X, so I won't get to experience this until I have one. But the way they're trying to make it more crisp, more like running better, just make it 100 times better than it would be if you played it on, I don't know, the Xbox One or the One X. And to be fair, I'm all for it. And the fact that they're doing it for games like Watch Dogs, Far Cry 4, Far Cry 5. Seriously, watching Colt's video, I started to see a big difference. There was a few things that you could say, yeah, you could tell that was an old game. But it's nice to see a different view on what they want to do to make gaming different and bring older games into the new generation. So people who haven't played them games can experience them in a better light.
Yeah, no, you are right, because obviously you're waiting till later on. You'll actually probably benefit more than us lot because we've already got it. Whereas when you get your console, there'll probably be about 40, 50, 60 games already upgraded with boost mode. So by you waiting, you'll probably benefit the most.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, so might be a couple of, there might be over 100 by then, or more. Yeah. But yeah, in the end, you'll benefit more. Welcome, Indie Gamer. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, Indy.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good thoughts on that. I know you can't experience it yet, but in the future you will. You'll benefit more because there'll be more available for you to try out. Because you'll be really blown away then. Yeah, we are competing with Nintendo Direct Indie. We don't stand a chance. There's millions watching that. I was going to watch it, but it was on at the same time. I haven't got the capabilities to stream it, otherwise I would onto the channel. It won't work. It won't. But yeah, no, thanks for that, Lewis. I appreciate that. Let's go to VJ. You there, mate?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Have you got any opinions? I'm all right, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Have you? Did I introduce you?
No, that's okay. You did.
Oh, sorry. Did I introduce you?
Yes, you did.
He's been playing Dragon Quest, remember?
That was it. Sorry. It's the way you went, how are you? I thought, have I not introduced him?
No, what it is, Al, is that anytime you mention that you're playing any sort of Japanese video games, Mr. Stubbs would rather not have you on the show. So I'll note that for next time.
And you know what? It's your fault because you told me to play it after we had a bit of a discussion.
Wait, what are you on about
JRPGs.
I play Yakuza now, and that's Japanese. What are you on about?
Sorry, Stubbs-san. Yes, sorry. Komindasai. Anyway, back to the topic. I'm not so familiar with it, but I guess the question is it something unexpected to land on your doorstep or over and above what's been promised by Xbox previously? I think it is, so correct me if I'm wrong. So
Nope. They announced it in September with Fallout 4, I believe, saying that they could unlock 60 frames per second on older games.
I got it. So what I would say is that typically for me is one area for Xbox. They're always good at providing more opportunities to enjoy older games. You perhaps want to go back to and play and enjoy once again. So, and for me, Xbox do have a pretty solid and consistent sort of track record of delivering on the promises and enhancements or quality of life features, if you prefer, of enhancing your older titles with features such as improved frame rates and so on and so forth. What I will say is that I'm kind of just watching the Nintendo Direct, my mind sort of wandering towards. I'm far more intrigued to see what new first-party titles will be revealed in the next few months from Xbox. They've been pretty quiet, but in the meantime, it's business as usual for Game Pass, which I'm enjoying very much. And just a quick one from Movable is that I have been watching the stream side by side the show, and Monster Hunter Rise looks amazing on the Switch, and so does Mario Golf Super Rush with the optional motion controller implementation. Both look fantastic. But anyway, back to you, Mr. Stubbs.
No, that's good.
Yeah, no,
that's very true. That's good to hear. That it's always offering more benefit to play older games with your new modern console to make it look a lot better.
Yep,
it's true. It is. But apparently, Indie Game was just announced that Fall Guys is going to the Switch before the bloody Xbox. When will we get it?
The Switch.
It's going to Switch.
We won't get it until the agreement is that it goes into Game Pass. Trust me.
That's probably it.
Oh man, we're going to be the last ones to get.
Yeah, but for free.
You'll be a surge research of stuff again.
Yeah. Welcome back, man. Thanks for stopping by, mate. What's your opinion on the animated evil on this FPS boost mode?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I'm in the same boat as Venomous. I haven't got a Series X yet. It's incoming, hopefully eventually, once I can secure one. I think we've missed the point though as well. Not only is it coming, it's actually launches on those 5 games today. It's already in. That's what that the announcement was made. It's already done today. In case anyone in chat didn't know, or none of us knew in the room. It's good. I mean, the way they do it is very intelligent. The way they've done it, the way that they actually fool the game to not know that it's running it over its expected frame rate by loading. Basically, if you look at Jason Ronald's explanation, I think I get it right in layman's terms, that the CPU and the GPU were just doing nothing because it's loaded so quickly, so they fooled it into loading the next frame early. That's all they've done. I mean, it's wizardry. It's wizardry in its best respect, but that's all they've done. It seems so simple when you put it that way.
But it's not, though. I can tell you that.
It's not. I'm sure it isn't simple, but that's in its essence. That's all it's doing, and it's absolutely marvelous. Yep. I mean, some of the games that you might be able to play, even if they go back to the OG Xbox, that are also backwards compatible. The
Crackdown.
Some of the I was a big fan of Crackdown 1. I cannot wait to play something like that in 60 frames per second. It's just going to be absolutely phenomenal. Especially for like a lot of us, like me and Venomous. I don't think I've ever played anything in 60 yet. And yes, I know I'm missing out a lot, but I'm still stuck at chugging along at 30. So to me, as soon as I get my Series X, it's going to be a massive difference.
Yeah, it will be. Even I haven't got a 4K TV, but I've got 1080p TV, and I've got a Series X, and you can see the difference even without the 4K TV. Like I play Wreckfest on Xbox One, and then Wreckfest on Series X, and there's a massive difference. You can tell the difference despite not having a 4K TV. Graphically, it looks superior.
Midway, I think Crackdown 1 was OG Xbox, I think. So he's just reading the chat.
Was.
No, it was 360, wasn't it?
Was it 360?
Yeah.
360. Yeah, 360.
It's
They're actually free on the store.
They're actually, if you go on the store now, you'll get 1 and 2 for free, Mr. Tushi. Grab them. They've been like that for ages.
Yeah, you're right, 360.
It's like they've left it switched on free. They have.
It's because nobody wants it, I think.
The second one was.
Wash your mouth out. Wash your mouth out.
Yeah, I enjoyed the third one.
second one was just like they just tried to copy every apocalyptic thing they could find.
First one was definitely the best for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the third one.
When it launched, the first one, when it launched, I think it did something different.
Yep.
Second was just more of the same, and third, well, that was just from what it promised was a disaster. I'm sure it's all right, but it wasn't what it was meant to be. It didn't live up to the hype.
I've only played a bit of number 3. That will surprise nobody. But I do own number 1 and 2 because they were free of charge. I need to go back and play them, really, but I'm deep in Yakuza at the minute, so I like that game so much. Blame VJ. And then Pong Soul's rave review on Xbox Ultimate Podcast convinced me even more to keep playing it. It did. Welcome, Mama Rocks. Thanks for stopping by. Indie Gamer, welcome. And I know you're already in, but does my microphone sound better than last week?
Did you sound crisp? You sound crisp.
Do I? Oh,
yeah, I can understand.
I've been playing with the mic, but Indie Gamer can always tell if my mic sounds nice. Being a fellow content creator, he knows on the stream. What are your thoughts on this removal sanity? I know I've gone to you last today, but I thought I'd mix it up a bit.
That's fine, you know me. I don't mind as long as I get to talk. No, I'm a fan of the. I actually watched Digital Foundry, so a bit animated Eva was said. Yeah, it's a trick. It's a slight trickery in terms of the actual how it works with the game, especially with Lucky Tale. They've now managed to do 120 frames. It is just going to open up the previous titles to a lot more people, and combine that now with your auto HDR, your better speeds, your better resolution. Time now to go back to those original games has never been easier, never been better. I'm looking forward to even just going back to Far Cry Blood Dragon, seeing when they can do, if they can get that to do 60 or more frames per second with the auto HDR. It will just look amazing. It'll look fun. It's a great little thing. I'm hoping it'll be like one of these. I think they said it's individually by game. I would prefer it if we could probably do something almost like as you've done with the auto HDR. If you could try and turn it on. Okay, it may only work with certain titles, but I'd like to see if they could probably try and do something similar to that. But overall, it's a I wouldn't say it's a nice surprise, but it's a fantastic tick for Xbox itself. It just shows that they're trying to even now still go back and keep everything in your library at its peak performance, and for no extra cost. So if anything, I should say, it's probably now going to lead itself into Game Pass even more, where there is a lot of the original games still in there. You may think, it's not going to look very good. It's probably not going to run very well. Yes, it might be a little bit better. Now with this booster, you're going to get the best quality anywhere, I suspect, unless you're on PC.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. I do. It's it only benefits the gamer. It does.
Yeah, it's another tick into Xbox's hat, isn't it? Let's face it. It's another mode, or I don't know. It's not a mode, but it's another option that is now being given to the players. I'm hoping they can keep going with this sort of energy. Keep moving forward, keep trying to boost these things. And if anything, it's a preservation of games as well. We forget about that. The preservation of the old games is a good thing. And so if we can get them at peak performance and peak resolution, why not?
Exactly. Yeah, it's very true. So I wanted to mention to people, the reason Cerebral Paul isn't here, he's had a power cut, and also apparently he's put on Twitter, now he has no water. So hopefully that gets sorted soon, Paul, because you need your power and your water. It's not good. It's not.
It's true. It's true.
Well, the area he lives in, it's rife with it at the moment, isn't it? So There's been lots of power cuts in his area due to adverse weather conditions.
And they just had a big storm as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
massive
really minus.
ice issues. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Well,
It's all right. It's all right. You said it. You'd get the day off work. It's fine.
yeah.
It's bad enough when it gets -2 in UK.
I like the cold, so it doesn't bother me. It just means you can go out and snowboard.
I can't get me a car when it freezes, so.
Fair enough.
So we're going to move on now. Right, Xbox has made their own headset. Everyone, and it's sold out everywhere. Now, I find the correct bit because there's quite a lot of word into it. I don't want to read the whole article to everybody. That's a long article. That is.
Just read the benefits of what it can do and the price.
Gonna have to go and find a tweet on this. Right.
As you can tell, we're all ready. Everything's all set up, all perfectly ready for these topics.
Yep. Poison.
Dude, you sent me all the topics in messages. Just look at the tweets you were sending me in the messages.
There we go. Right.
Poise at the microphone.
Always professional there, Mindy. So, Xbox wireless headset has been announced. It supports Dolby Atmos. Now, when I say this, I'm reading it off. Remember the bit it says supports. It's a DTS headphone, X and Windows Sonic, dual beamform mic with voice isolation and more. Auto mute feature and up to 15 hours of battery life available. I'll say it the British way, not the American way. 16th of March for $99. What do you all reckon to this headset then? Because it sounds good. It's got all the premium features. It just sounds too good to be true just for the price.
This is what I personally think. I think that it's going to be sold at a very minimal profit. I think they've come for they want a premium product to compete with the Sony headphones, because they're at the same price pretty much. I don't know how much they are in UK, the Sony headphones, but the Xbox is $89.99 in UK on the Xbox store.
I would agree with that, but the thing is although everyone says they're generic, PlayStation and Sony have been in the headphone game market for a long time.
They have. Yes.
Yeah. They are leaders. Well, not also they're not leaders, but they
used to be
at the top. Yeah, they used to be the perfect audiophile sort of hardware. Everything was Sony. Who hadn't got an MP3 Sony player? You hadn't got headphones.
I'm thinking
they were.
Walkmans.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
exactly.
Who hadn't got a Sony MP3 player? Me, for starters. It was the Walkman and it was a Discman. It's all about the iPod.
You see, yeah, exactly. People, they as they produced more stuff, everyone got them. As you said, the Sony Walkman.
Classic.
It was everybody's. Almost everybody's house.
Lewis, did you have
I have a question? What the hell is a Walkman?
There we go.
Now I feel old.
Well, it's a man that walks and then plays music.
Cassette tapes.
Cassette player.
In it, and you go along.
No, I didn't have one of those.
No.
The next question's going to be, what's a cassette?
I had an iPod. I think that was the closest thing I had. MP3 player and an iPod.
See?
I feel fucking old now.
We're just all old.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But no, yes, the headset. So let's get some. You are right, Mr. Two. We'll go with Mr. Tushi as he jumped in. You are right. It is to compete with the PlayStation. Do you think it will live up to the hype? I mean, I know PR.
Yes.
PR looks good. Do you think it will?
I honestly think it looks I think it really will. It's got the stuff there. Do you reckon it's something to do? Remember they signed up with Bang & Olufsen a while ago. Do you reckon it's got anything to do with that in them?
Maybe. Mate, you
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know because that wasn't the partnership. Bang & Olufsen were going to come into gaming headsets alone, I believe it. I don't think it was a partnership.
Oh, okay.
From what I read, I think they were going to release one.
Because I thought they were going to.
I could be wrong. I don't think it was going to be a Microsoft one. I think it was going to be a set of gaming headsets.
Ah, okay.
And I think I may be wrong, but they were going to do PC as well. So I would think they would be doing a set PC, Xbox, and PlayStation ready. But again, I'm surmising of something I read a long time ago.
It's interesting. There's one thing I noticed earlier that somebody had found in the small print that, as Stubbs said, the support is that the Dolby Atmos app that you have to buy that on Xbox. It's about £15, but it just says additional. I think it says like additional purchase required or something to use that.
Which is strange. Because the Corsair set that I got, the Xbox licensed Corsair version, actually came with that for free.
Mm-hmm. I paid it's £14 for mine. I think
I paid 12. And it's actually, I don't know how it works, but it does say on Xbox you can use it on 12 devices, but I don't know how you log in with that key because you need your Xbox Live account if you buy it that way, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it carried over to the Series X though.
Oh, it will, yeah.
Doesn't have to buy it again.
These Corsair headsets I got, I just turned them on and it told me to activate the license for Atmos for free.
Nice.
No.
Although I think these are not without their issues. I'll be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah, $14.99 in America. So yeah, it would have been about 11-12 quid tushi here.
Somewhere around there. I can't remember what I paid.
It was something like that. It was.
Remember when I found out it was an app? I thought it was actual hardware.
Yeah, because I said to you do know it's an app, don't you? You're like, what? I said it's an app. And you went and bought it straight away. Like, this is amazing. You're like,
I thought you had to buy Dolby Atmos headphones or something. I thought it was like some premium.
I did to start with, and then someone told me, "Oh no, you do know it's just an app, don't you, on the Xbox?" I was like, "No, I didn't know that." And then I told you eventually.
Mm-hmm. Worth the purchase, though. Definitely.
Matt Burns in the chat says once it's activated, it works with any headphones. If you have already activated, you wouldn't have to buy it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's handy then.
Yeah.
It's a one-off purchase. Oh.
Yeah.
It is. But no, the headset does sound good to me. I'm always dubious about stuff like this because it does sound too good to be true, but I think they probably will deliver on that. Would you agree, Animated?
Yeah, we had a bit of a discussion, didn't we, Stubbs, in DMs about it, and you were like, "Nah, it's too good to be true." Well,
I'm a bit of a brand snob with headphones. I like Astros.
That is very true, but the thing is, you got to remember that Mark Cerny did that whole on stage. Look at our 3D sound. Look at that, and PlayStation's been running with their quality of 3D sound.
They have.
Now it's nothing. It's nothing much more than what Dolby's already doing.
It is.
So
that's very true.
So for them to say, right, we'll take these headphones at a bit of a loss. I mean, I think these cost me $160, something like that. But they're already saving money on the Atmos license, aren't they? That's why it's a little bit cheaper straight away.
Yeah, because if you notice, you don't actually have to use Dolby Atmos at all because if you read it here,
Windows Sonic.
It says Windows Sonic and DTS. Is that just like Windows Sonic or is that something else? That must be something else as well.
DTS is just an older version, similar to THX, I think. Something.
I think I'm
not an audiophobe, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think the majority of people pick up Dolby Atmos, to be honest. It's the best one.
Now you do, yes. So yeah. I think they're going to sell these at a loss. Because look at your controllers. Peripherals sell a hell of a lot more than consoles do.
They do.
And of course, the making of those headphones will get a little bit cheaper and a little bit cheaper, and they're going to keep selling them and selling them and selling them. Same as your controllers, they're not changed for years. They have now, but the older versions, but they never dropped in price. If they keep the headphones at the same price, they've already sold out. You sell them for 3 years, they might recoup the losses.
Yeah. But I do know there's a man in this chat, VJ, who has a bit of experience in this field.
Hello.
There he is. There's the man. Hello, VJ.
Hello.
You got any opinions on this?
I do, but there's far too many to go through. Look, I've consistently said that on the show that hardware sales, although critical for a traditional console manufacturer, software and accessories sales are where the true profits lie. When you actually break down the components of a headset, they're not that expensive to make, not in the volumes that these guys make, Sony and Microsoft. I think in the US alone last year, I was having a quick look, and feel free to correct me because I was a bit surprised by it, but I think the joypad steering wheel and headset revenue was or business was worth, I think, over 2.2 billion just in the US alone. So in another life, I have worked with Redmond on Xbox licensed headsets, but I can't talk about it specifics because I'm under NDA with the MI5. But it's the same as anything really. If you don't conceive, design, engineer, and execute a proposed product, be it a headset or a memory card, correctly, the prototype and Federal Express or DHL bills can quite easily mount up and are significantly large, and the expenditure is the least of your problems in terms of prototyping a brand new headset. And the reason why I'm saying some of this is that what I do know in terms of first party approvals and even if it's Xbox's own internal sort of, I don't know whether you want to call it a premium headset, the brand is critical, and the awareness of the brand is critical, and profit is critical, and they protect it at all costs, and they are Redmond incredibly detailed and I would say strict in their development and QA process, and they want to ensure that first party and third party licensed and approved accessories are indeed of the highest grade and quality and reach or surpass sort of the exemplary benchmark set for their brand, and any products that are associated with it. That I think the last time I recall working with who, they specifically use a German company to design and develop certain key chips or chipsets for exclusive or for licensing use, and I think the minimum order was, even for a third party, was well over 100K, and I think at the time the build quantity just for us was about 250,000, and you're talking several years ago. You're talking last gen, and it's no surprise to me that the popularity of headsets is just gone from strength to strength from last gen and into this gen. It's like I have a console, I need a game. I have to have a headset as well. So I'm sorry about the chips or chipsets. As the correct term, the engineering term escapes me. And Xbox at the time only used or implied the specific use of for 2 licenses, because they couldn't tell you exactly what to do. They said, look, use the highest quality vendors. And at the time, if you knew what you were doing, right, you would always buy your components typically from Taiwan and not from China-based vendors, unless it's plastic or fabric or something that is a known and respected commodity or has been approved sort of over a period of time. Typically, from my experience, also what I want to just caveat that with is that when something new is sort of being launched, whether it's a console, and I don't know what the tech is inside these headsets, is that, and I think we talked about this on the show before, that the initial sort of batch, or for the first 6 to 8 months, everything is made with high cost components to ensure that the product itself will work, right, and after that launch, that's when they look to China based chip and component based manufacturers or fabricators to produce the same components significantly cheaper. And there's several reasons why China based manufacturers can provide better pricing or lowest cost components. And it's not down to sort of low labor costs and poorly run facilities, because that's not the case anymore. And it hasn't been for a long time. That's just a preconceived notion. A lot of people's minds are sort of plagued, and they sort of picture sort of, I don't know how you put it, like squalid, prejudicial thoughts and scenarios and dodgy looking factories. That's not the case anymore. There's other reasons why they're able to produce the same component for a far cheaper price. So going back to what Mr. Tushi was saying in terms of, these, or was it removable sanity? Sorry, I forget which both sound exactly the same. In terms of how they go about then lowering the cost of the headset and improving their profitability over the long term. So, there's loads and loads more I could say about it, but it gives you an idea. But for me, it's no different to some of the stuff when I was looking into TVs in terms of, I was shocked to see that LG provides panels to pretty much every other manufacturer out there, Samsung, Sony, Panasonic, even Hisense, which is a Chinese-based outfit, and even someone mentioned Bang & Olufsen. I think it's somewhere in the region of 19 manufacturers. And while Hisense, a subsidiary of theirs, I believe, fabricate cheaper panels of their own, but their yield and quality is nowhere near as high as LG. And that's something that Samsung's been sort of struggling with, whether to close down their own subsidiary or of panel suppliers and go with LG, which I think they have done, or they're planning to go with for a certain technology of TVs that they're making. So, albeit for consumers, all these TVs are marketed as a 4K Ultra HD panels. My point is, not all TVs are built to the same level of quality, and there are, in my sort of narrow sort of field of experience, there are always several refined qualitative or innovative and even sort of, speciality ingredients that go into making a silky, sumptuous chocolate pudding, if you like. So I'm just hungry, so to speak. And obviously in this case, I'm obviously referring to the headset. So, I've got a third-party headset, and from time to time, I still have sort of unpredictable issues with it, compared to when I had a Sony, first-party headset for the PlayStation. But I know Mr. Tushi's gone through loads of different headsets. So I'm just wondering if during this talk you actually pre-ordered one. I'm not sure. In summary, I think Xbox is making something fit for purpose, price, affordability, comfort, and at the end of the day, the sound a headset emits, something that Al said that just pinged in my mind, is all dependent on your situation, your affordability, and it is subjective, each to their own, as they say. At the end of the day, I haven't tried or tested this new headset, and but I am definitely going to look forward to an unbiased review in the future. So anyway, those are some of my thoughts. I had more, but I'm just worried that we're running out of time.
I've only had 3 headsets, I had a wired Turtle Beach one for the 360. Apart from the ones you get free with the consoles and stuff, I've only had them. I can't remember what model they were, but they're only about £40 new. I had the Stealth 600, and then I've gone to the Steel series now. And I love these ones at the moment. But I do like the Stealth 600s, though. For the money that they cost, they're amazing quality, I think. Quality and sound, they're brilliant.
And also, it also depends on where Microsoft are making these. I'm sure that they're either making them with Foxtron or one other manufacturer that they predominantly use for most of their headsets. It's only when, if you look at Turtle Beach, they work, I know, with several different factories. And when you go and give a project to a factory, you normally typically vet a factory, which takes, doing your due diligence, and, they're graded between A, B, C, D, and E. And so if it's a first time project or a first time, a production run, it'll typically, go to your A or B sort of graded factory, just to ensure everything sort of works well and runs well, and you get a decent product out at the end of it. And typically, after they've produced 20, 30,000 and they've got a new product coming through, because they don't obviously just make headsets, I believe, those factories will go on to the next project coming out of R&D, and the molds and not the production, not the people, but the molds and the tech and the know-how and everything will move to a factory which is further north, which is typically the more further north you go from southern China, the cheaper it does become. But you do then have to have better quality assurance. But and that's why sometimes a headset, I think we were talking to Mr. Stubbs, that headset comes out, does really well, and then a year later someone buys it and says these are rubbish, and you see these fluctuating reviews on Amazon. But that's precisely why it happens. So yeah, okay. So I put everyone to sleep finally.
Just a little question. Just a little question. Did anybody use the official Microsoft wireless racing wheel for the 360?
No.
No. Well, that thing was an absolute beast. It shone, and I think they're doing the same thing with the headphones. I really think they're going to be good. Obviously, I've got no one to back me up because no one's used it, but it was a great piece of kit, and it wasn't expensive. It was about, compared to the elite ones you could get for PC and stuff, I know they're a lot more expensive on PC, but compared to them, it was wireless. And the force feedback, it used to try and pull your arms off. It was so good, and it wasn't expensive. And I do think, personally, that they're going to try and do the same thing with these headphones.
Yep.
Well, hopefully. Yeah, VJ, very good insight.
Okay.
Into headphone making, because you're correct about the way they build them. You obviously been in the game, so you know.
Yeah. Well, that and other stuff as well, but I can't talk about it.
Yeah. But I am obviously I'm with Indy. Indy's very dubious about first party branded products. In general, over the years, Xbox have made crap headsets. That's what I'm going off in general. They fall apart very quickly, and that's what I'm going off. So until I wait to hear the reviews, etc., come out. But also, did everyone know that in the what's that advert Xbox made? Power Your Dreams. That the wireless headset was in the advert. Yet again, everyone missed it. I just thought they were a random pair of headphones that was on his head.
And apparently, also somewhere near the end, the person is wearing a pair of earbuds as well. So are they coming out?
Potentially.
Apparently, it was on Twitter or something that
examine the video.
Somebody has gone and examined that video, and later on in the video, they're wearing some pods rather than some wireless pods, basically. So Microsoft you never know.
I was just going to say
that's aimed at Power Your Dreams.
Yeah,
because it's the first headset you can fall asleep to.
Just to back up what Indie Gamer was saying in terms of he's dubious, I don't blame him. I've been to factories where they make night trainers and all that sort of stuff, and you know that for the huge brand, for anything that comes from first party or from a huge brand, you are paying a partial percentage of the price, a premium for the brand itself, right? So you know that there's a nod or a $5 or pounds going towards paying for the brand itself. So it'd be really interesting to see, how these headsets turn out at the end of the day, whether they're real value for money or if it was another grey herring. Is that the right term? I can't remember now.
Red herring.
Red herring. Oh, it's grey over here in America. No, I'm just kidding.
Grey squirrel.
Grey squirrel. Yeah.
Welcome, Dragon. Thanks for stopping by.
Has there been any news on that? The speaker, was it a necklace? It was called. Can you remember that one? It's like it goes around your neck. It's got loads of speakers around it, like for 3D surround sound and stuff.
No, I've not heard of that one.
I have seen that. Yeah.
I tweeted it about a year ago, I think.
So I know removable sanity is going to go totally left field now. What's your opinion on this?
Was it like sorry, Tushi? Was it like a collar from Fortress?
Yeah, it was. It was actually on Unboxing did a video on it. In fact, it was that Unboxing did a video on it, and he actually gave it really good. He actually gave it a really good review. He actually said he quite liked it. It was weird because it pushes the sound kind of past your ears.
Okay.
So it's if you look on Unboxing, I'm not being paid by him by any chance, but if you look on Unboxing, he has got a review on it.
Yeah. Anyway, I do apologize. I interrupted a bit, but you carry on.
I guess I would classify myself as I represent the poor boy from the poor family, because just like I haven't got an elite controller, there's no way in hell am I going to be able to afford this headset. This is just, again, for me, this is just exceptionally. You have to be, an audiophile, not an audiophone. I'm actually putting my that's why I am. You have to be, someone who has the money to spend this sort of on that sort of headset. I'm a bit like Stubbs here. I'm a bit cautious, regardless, because until you get your trusted reviews from your independent people who actually sit down and really, use it till its fullest, and find out any problems with it, we don't know if it's going to be, just another glitzy trailer, or is it something that's actually going to be worth its weight in gold. For me, again, it's just like the same thing with the Elite controller. It's just a price that I can't afford. For those who don't know, I've actually got one of the original wired Turtle Beach headsets I'm using now, and I have been using it for like the last 5 years. That's about the price I can afford.
Yeah, I got the same.
It does its job, it does its duty. So I'd love a pair of wireless headsets, but there is no way in hell. So I kind of have to look at almost alternative brands if I'm going to go down that path. So for me, what it says, because it says it's like a 15-hour battery, I'm actually surprised, because there is a lot of the wireless headsets now which are hitting around the 25 to 30 mark. So I don't know if that's either if it must be using some serious power or juice, but maybe it's to do with the software in it that's kind of pushing it out. Because if I'm correctly now, if you look online, I think some of the top ones are saying about 20 to 35 hours. I mean, Tushi, you'll probably know. You know a bit more about the audio aspects of these.
The Steel Series 9X, they got a 20-hour life on them.
So, go on.
The Stealth 600, I think it was 15. I think they had about a 15, but they're the same price as the new Xbox ones at $89.99.
Mm.
So it's probably in the right range for the battery power. The battery life is about in the right range.
You think it's actually the right range for that?
Yeah.
The Corsairs claim 20 to 25 as well. So
nice.
So maybe it's in that kind of aspect. Then again, it's one of those things. If you've got the funds, you've got the cash to splash this on, I would say always on the brand new items. Unless of course you have the money to spend it on, wait for the actual reviews to come out and see what it is.
Yep.
Just like VJ has said, though, the first line's going to be at a higher tier quality versus further down the line, maybe a year down the line, when they get cheaper products and cheaper parts at a cheaper rate. So it's a kind of a catch-22. If you've got the money, maybe wait for a first couple of reviews and then try and purchase it and see what happens. Otherwise, again, it's really for us. For you elitists out there, this is a good stand. For us poor people, it's just another thing. I look at and go, that looks pretty, and never think about it again. It's nice of them. Xbox is trying to push peripherals, but again, it's just like it'll be interesting. I mean, it's interesting to hear from what Stubbs has said as well, saying that Xbox has kind of a history of bad, faulty designs. Mm-hmm. So I can understand from his opinion where that is going to be very cautious. But saying that, the Elite, the original Elite controller did exceptionally well. The second Elite controller, am I hearing it correctly? Right, it also had a few issues.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe so again, maybe you actually pick up something really good. Maybe be a bit wary, because if their Elite 2 controller is having problems, and that's classified as their flagship. There is substance behind Stubbs's claim that Xbox has a history of issues. So I a bit like Stubbs and Indy. I think I'm gonna, if I had the money, I'd be wary at this stage.
If I had the money, I'd keep saving and get myself a new pair of Astros.
They're expensive, aren't they, Astros?
I like Astros.
See, I'm kind of the same with money-wise, because I look after my mum. So like when lockdown went in, she had to go into shielding, and she couldn't work. So I took on another job, already doing another job. So whatever I get, I give her basically half. So whatever I have spare, I just keep in the bank for just in case. So yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, I've got God knows how many nieces and nephews, so I always get, it's Cody's birthday, and I'm like, it's another 30 quid.
I would like to see them. Yeah, I think for me and you directly, for I wouldn't. You're a bit younger, and obviously you have those elements. I think for those who don't have a lot of money, I would like to see an alternative for the cheaper, for us.
Now,
us non-elites.
This opens another question as well. If this works and they pull it off, will they make a higher tier headset?
Wait, is this the higher tier headset?
Yeah.
What you mean, like adding another battery that makes it more powerful, longer?
I mean, a more higher quality, higher build headset, because although it's got premium features, it might have a low quality build.
So I was just thinking about how can they lower the retail price point of these headsets, but then you have to also look at 99 quid, right? Whatever it is in England, take 20% off, right? That's going to the government, right? So you're down to 82 quid. Yep. And you've got very greedy retailer margins, and I think accessory margins are around 25 to 30% of third party.
Generally, yep.
Yeah, and then you've got to look at Microsoft, accountants, right? You got before you've got even logistics, shipping, and everything. They're going to want to make 20-25% margin at least. Typically, when you produce something, whatever the production cost is before R&D, it's the retail price is 4 times your production costs, and that kind of is a sort of rule of thumb, right, in terms of how the margin gets split out. So because the actual components and assembly and packaging isn't that much, it's all in the R&D. But I guess my question is that have headsets advanced that much in the last 7 or 8 years, other than battery life?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you look at a £50 price of headset, it's all about the software. What software kind of has and the battery life.
Yeah. I'm just going to jump in here now.
But my point is not that removable. My point is that if headsets technically have not moved on in the last 10 years, then the R&D is where I can tell you now, R&D teams are huge on some of this stuff, and that's where the costs are, because your burn rate is consistent. It doesn't go up and down or anything like that. It remains consistent. So my question is the tech inside these headsets, other than the PR blurb that they're spurting out and trying to make you sort of like trying to sparkle and shine and sort of get you to purchase their headsets, then my question is that these are far more cheaper to produce than we actually think. So, I'm only looking at this from a selfish inward point of view in terms of how to get the price down for the headsets. But as I said to you, there's VAT duty as another 5% or some 2.5% to 5%. You can see everyone who's taking a piece of the pie or a chunk of the pie before, like you said, there's a lot of us, many of us on the panel, considering the times that we're living in and looking after our families and so on and so forth, as Venomous has just pointed out, and I know Al does, and Tushi's a special case, so I'm not going to mention him. And he's probably ordered about 10 pairs while we've on the podcast. So yeah, I'm just trying to think of how to lower the price, and really going from someone was mentioning in the chat, the amount of stuff that goes in these headsets. Actually, I'd like you to actually dissect it and figure and price cost out all of those components. There isn't very much. So anyway, that was the point I wanted to make. It's just a food for thought. There's probably no reality in it, given the commercialization of and the importation of and the greed of retailers and so on and so forth. When you stoke all that into the pot and start stirring, you realize, right, that maybe these things aren't really worth what we're being charged for.
No, you're probably right. I just got to do a few shout outs. Welcome UK Dazarus. Welcome Muppet. Thanks for stopping by. And welcome to Original Next Level Gaming, Mike. And we have helped him out. We have. He says, "Hello, all my friends. Thank you for talking me out of this headset." Laughing face.
Welcome.
That's it. We're banned from Microsoft.
Anytime we can help.
Welcome Pong Soul. Welcome Steel Rain. Thanks for stopping by.
Do you know one thing I won't do? I won't tell someone buy this if I know it's dreadful. I can't. Like when I worked in the cinema, they used to be like, "Oh, can you fill it up to the top?" And I used to be like, "Yeah." And then they used to tell me off, and I used to be like, "Well, they're paying £9 for popcorn. Give them £9 worth of popcorn."
Exactly.
Don't give them something that they're gonna eat, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, that's it. It's finished."
I've stopped giving advice to people as well.
Yeah, because every time you do, something breaks.
Yeah.
I advised VJ to get the Stealth 600 headset, and on the same day, mine broke. And then what I found out as well, they didn't break. It was just the connection issues on the Series X. So I ended up spending £200 on a headset for nothing really. And then I recommended Animated Evil a microphone, and the same day the USB port came out the back, and that's why I got this new one now.
This is.
I might need to look at a new microphone if my microphone keeps crackling every so often. I don't know how to fix it.
I'm going to wait till you recommend it and then not buy it.
Oh, I recommend buying this 4K TV I got.
Welcome, clowns. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, clowns.
Presume it's clowns. No, I don't think anyone else has access to that account. Welcome, Dragon Wolf. Thanks for stopping by. But you got any more opinions? I keep getting my name wrong tonight. Venomous. There we go. I'm probably saying it wrong. Venomous. There you go.
Take a look at Venom Snake.
Yeah.
More
thoughts on it?
What, the headset?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I looked at it and I thought, it's pretty cool. It's amazing who they got to do the advert. I mean, that guy came from my area, and now he's in Hollywood. I used to see him in my area. I mean, he's a lot older than me. I was one of his youngers, as they call us. And it's cool. It looks really cool. But sometimes it just feels like money. And it's like,
True.
Can't get everything all at once. Then you got these people that will spend hundreds, even thousands on all this stuff.
Sushi.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
He works for it though. He works for it. Come on, he works his backside off for it, so he can spend whatever he bloody well wants.
I'm broke now.
I think you need to do it.
But
don't you know what he looked up earlier? Tell them what you looked up earlier, Mr. Tushi. That gaming rig.
£2,000.
No, it was a
3 million
server. It was on the PC place where I bought my laptop from. I went over the top specs on the server. It comes to 2.8 million.
Oh, just a couple for you then.
Yeah, you need to get 4. Remember that.
I'll buy 4.
Yeah, buy 4. Just in case one breaks.
I wish I could afford the CPU, one of them things.
But like I was saying, it just, you get all these people then buying it, and then what if it don't work? They just wasted all that money, and it pisses people off. Do you know what I mean? And you got some people that'll be like, "Oh, that was a lot for me to just buy," and then you've got someone who's like, "Fuck it, it's only £200." But it's more the fact of is it worth it? Is it really worth it?
That's
Is it
why I
worth
won't buy an Elite controller.
Is it worth
they're
going out and buying the brand new shit that's coming out straight away, then looking at stuff that's been out, maybe just come out maybe a few months ago, not as expensive, and works exactly the same way? You know, like shopping around sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just look on Amazon.
Makes complete sense, to be honest.
It's like when I first bought a mic, I was like, should I get this one or this one or this one or this one? And then I had to ask Master Mayhem, what do I buy? Because
You've got your mic set up really nice. I'm jealous of how well your mic sounds.
I'll send you. Right, you're gonna laugh, right? Well, I'll send you everything I'm using. I'm using the same thing you are, Stubbs.
I know that's what's annoying me. I was like, he sounds really good.
The stand comes with this thing that looks like a, you know, that thing you used to put. See, this is how young I am. My dad used to put this thing on the window, just the sun coming in. It's one of them sort of things.
That thing you've got, Tushi. That's all he's on about. The pop thing, the pop guard.
Oh, a boom stand.
This one.
A boom arm.
And it wasn't a lot. I'll send you. I'll send you the link.
I've got one of them.
Have you got voice mod?
Are you using voice mod?
Of course I am.
Well, I've never heard. Well, I might have
that shit cost me 29 quid.
He's a lot higher actually. If without it, he's much higher. He's actually lowered it.
See that's what's doing the voice thing. Probably I'm gonna have to look into this voice mod thing. I will then.
I mean, I can.
If you come on next week, Stubbs, sounding like Barry White, there's a problem.
Hello there. This is Stubbs here. Welcome.
I mean, I don't know if it works. I've not even tried it. I don't know if it works, but I can change it to. I can even do Venom. I made Venom. Wait, let's see if it works. I am Venom.
That's cool.
Hey yo.
So it does. But Stubbs, look into what you're using. Best person to ask, Paul.
Yeah, I'll have Paul, but I'll have Indie Gaming. He's very good at microphones as well.
Indeed, the fact that he's using exactly what I'm using. He's using the exact same thing.
What microphones you both got? Is it the Yeti? Is it?
I'm using the Snowball Blue.
That's Snowball.
Please Snowball. Tushi's using a microphone you've never heard of before.
It's called is it a Wiener or something like that? I can't remember what it's called now.
Zivina extra large with
new
Wiener.
Are you doing that in impression of Mr. Tushi?
No, I don't sound like I'm a Memphis rapper. Don't worry.
Neewer. It's Neewer. It's called. It's all right though.
Yep. So she's using the brand new 12-inch Wiener. Buy it now.
Comes with a free lollipop as well.
900 quid.
Lollipop.
Oh, for God. Every show.
it wouldn't be a Wednesday if we didn't go off topic.
Oh no. No, it's what he was doing. He's
Oh, bloody old Daz.
It's Jamie's fault. He put a lollipop in the fucking chat. I had to taste it. Don't taste of anything though.
Well, it seems that I'll switch gears now. It seems that Xbox, Sega is very happy with Xbox. Xbox Gamepass is the gift that keeps giving to consumers, but developers and publishers have expressed their admiration for the service over the years, including Sega, which is really happy with the results. In an extensive rundown about Sega Game Pass over at Eurogamer, Sega's Europe's Senior Vice President of Commercial Publishing, Anna Downing, spoke about the company's relationship with Xbox Game Pass, which has seen titles such as 2 Point Hospital and the Yakuza franchise thrive since their inclusions. We are really happy with the results, and we hope Microsoft are too ultimately happy. as well. They also spoke about 2.0 Hospital has enjoyed. It's seen over 3 million players. Here's the actual quote. It's helped propel the franchise to over 3 million players worldwide. That's a huge benefit of being on Game Pass. It strengthens the exposure you get to a huge first-party audience. That surge in engagement, in turn, helps to further establish your product in the marketplace. It's great for us, and it's great for consumers who get to experience something they may have not engaged with outside of the Game Pass model. And there's another quote here as well from her. Can the model work within a subscription service? Absolutely. Would we specifically develop games with a subscription service in mind? Potentially. It really depends on how the offerings evolve over the next few years and what consumers demand and the expectations are. So, some good news is that Sega are very impressed with the service. Obviously, the sales they're making through Xbox and the gamers that have played the games like Yakuza, 2.0 Hospital. There's loads of Sega on there now. It's really good to hear. Welcome back from the dead. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, it's only a little topic. What do you reckon, Mr. Sakasan VG?
I think that what's really interesting is if you watch Nintendo over the last 2 or 3 decades, they've been exceptional at recycling old content, albeit you're having to repurchase it. And I've really admired them in terms of how they've gone about maximizing or profiteering from their IPs and older games. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge fan of having to buy, games that I bought on the GameCube, on the Wii, and then having to buy them on the Wii U, and so on and so forth. There's been a few occasions, but anyway, that's not. I guess that's not really Nintendo's fault. Especially when all the Dragon Quest from 1 to 5, I think, or 1 to 6 were remastered for the Game Boy. I couldn't help but buy them. But I think that for Sega, I mean, they're going to say what they're going to say, right? And they're going to be positive, right? It's a PR piece at the end of the day. I think that, as I said before, I'm really happy that Yakuza's in Game Pass. I'm really happy that a lot of people get to experience it. I think it's massively great advertising for Sega. If indeed 3 million, a new batch of 3 million people, whether it's PC or console, or unless it's only available on consoles, you'll have to forgive me because I'm not sure, are getting exposed to the IP, because I'm sure that Judgment 2 and whatever's planned for Yakuza, for the Yakuza series in the future, it's widening the audience for them. So I'm not surprised by it. I'm happy by it. But as I said to you, I'd love to have seen Judgment in Game Pass. And I really, actually, at Christmas time, I was talking to Mr. Tushi. I was speaking to Flap over at Green Pass Gaming, and we all thought that Yakuza Like a Dragon was going to go straight into Game Pass. And I still believe it was low-hanging fruit. But I can also understand Sega as a standalone publisher want to maximize their profits and revenues, and they have their own sort of way of proceeding. So I can understand why it may not have gone into Game Pass. But Sega only have one major studio, and I think I was speaking to you, Mr. Stubbs, that I'd love to have seen like stuff like Crazy Taxi and some of the older games from Dreamcast perhaps go into Game Pass. I thought would be fantastic. But I know that years, and I think when it was the OG Xbox, when Outrun was in there, and I never actually got around to purchasing it back then, which I regret. But overall, I'm a fan of the Yakuza series, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it, Stubbsan. And I know Removable Sanity's got heavily involved with Yakuza Like a Dragon. But I mean, there's so many good games out there at the moment, and so many good games that have passed me by. And Hollow Knight's just one example, right? That I missed several years ago, and someone turned me towards it, and I can't believe what a fantastic game it is. But I think that's just a universal truth these days, right? Given the plentiful that we have on our plates. even though times are tough. But when our times not tough, you go back to speak to people in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Society and middle class and even the poorer class, they always have and always will have their problems as long as governments are structured the way that they are. But I think I'm going off topic. What was the question?
Cheeseburgers.
Yeah, I'll have one. Yep. Please.
But no, you're right about Sega. I mean, I would have loved them to actually say what their reach with Yakuza was on Xbox. That would have been interesting. But obviously,
yeah,
I didn't think 2.0 Hospital would be that big of a game, but it obviously is.
Which game?
2.0 Hospital.
Hospital reached over 3 million people in Game Pass. That surprised me.
I don't even know what that game is.
You build hospitals.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever play?
You mean unlike the Tory Party when they used to close them down back in the 90s?
Did you ever play Theme Hospital, VJ?
Yep.
Theme Hospital. Yeah, is that EA game?
Well, the Theme Hospital's kind of been remade-ish by Team 17. Was it Team 17?
I thought it was Electronic Arts, the IP Theme Hospital. Have I got that confused?
No, the Theme Hospital was, yes, but I'm sure Team 17 have done
some of the original devs.
A kind of a copy. It's called 2.0 Hospital.
And they're from the Worm series, right?
I'm sure
that's right.
If any of you lot have seen it completed on my account on 2.0 Hospital, wasn't me, it was my wife. So she loves that game, 2.0 Hospital.
I haven't actually played that.
Are the Tory Party being introduced as a special advisory role in the development?
That would be a good expansion, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
How to close. It'd be the hardest setting, wouldn't it, in the game?
Yeah.
It would be. We've tackled your money off you. What can you do now?
Sorry.
Welcome, Mav. Thanks for stopping by.
I don't want to upset Removable Sanity and talk about the love of his life.
Food?
No, Muggy Factory.
Oh God! But way too. Nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but those
ankles weren't my style, unfortunately.
You know that if that game was multiplayer Theme Hospital, it'd be in charge of the kitchen staff and the food, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Mr. Tushi.
There'll be no food left.
There's nothing going out without chips on the plate.
They'll be like, what's going on? The chef's at it all. So they pretend to the customer, sorry.
No, it's like
I'm going to back Tushi here. I reckon he would actually do some proper grub. It would come out proper. You wouldn't get the stuff that you get in the hospitals at the moment, where it looks like it's been, left in the corner to cold and ferment for about 3 days before being reheated and slapped on your plate. I reckon he would do proper food. That would be, anyone would probably proper grub. Yeah, it would come out proper. I reckon. Is that right, Tushi?
I think we need a game called Cooking Papa, with starring Mr. Tushi.
2.0 Hospital is developed by 2 Point
Studios Games, and by Sega.
And published by Sega. Indie Gamers just said.
Yeah, that's true. I was looking it up now. I'm thinking of something else by Team 17.
I think that was the first. I think that was the first Sega game that went into Game Pass, weren't it? Then they started coming in. Oh, am I wrong? Probably wrong, knowing me.
I think you're right.
I'll be corrected in the chat though if I'm wrong. I will. But then that's when I started to notice Sega publishing games appear after 2.0 appeared, because it was quite successful.
Well, on the bright side, let's face it, wouldn't we want those games from Sega to be successful? So they will then produce more games into Game Pass, and hopefully more, first party games into Game Pass. As a bit like VJ, as I was assuming that Yakuza Like a Dragon would be an instant Game Pass day one option, but of course now it didn't. So I suspect again maybe it's one of those things they were holding back, seeing how well, I wouldn't say lesser known titles, but probably are in compared to the Yakuza series, how they do in terms of sales, in terms of consistency, because it's not always just about the price. Is it being played on a regular basis? And as they said it's been over 3 million. I think you can actually play it on the PC as well, so that could be a combination aspect.
It released on PC, I believe, a couple of years before it was ever thought of to become into console.
Yes, yeah, I would say, but I think it's on Game Pass on PC. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think it is on Game Pass on PC.
Community, from what I gather, on PC and console.
Yeah. So I suspect this is. Is it as you said? It is a fluff piece. It is a PR piece. We know it is.
Yeah,
the question is there a little bit of substance or a little bit of truth behind it in saying that actually it gives Sega a little bit more of a boost to know that actually games on Game Pass are doing substantially better, so that they think it's not more of a we'll just get a game out and at the end of its cycle we'll throw it into Game Pass. Maybe now it'll be at the forefront of their minds rather than at the as an alternative. I'm hoping that will be the case.
Yeah, I think you're right, Removal. I think she's coming from a point where subsequent revenue, which wasn't anticipated in the first place, is coming from Game Pass, is always a nice surprise. So in those terms, yes, I can understand why she's saying what she's saying. But like you say, is there any real substance to it, or is it just a typical PR piece, which happens quite a lot? And but if 3 million people have accessed the game, downloaded it, and tried it, and it's expanded the awareness of the series, then I'm all for it. And I'm just really happy to hear Al say that he's actually playing Dragon Quest. I mean, Dragon Quest 11 is fantastic, but there's others in the series which are even. I think they should get full next-gen remakes. They were so good, and with their job systems and everything. There's some. I don't think it was Dragon Quest 6, which I've always hoped that would have got a full next-gen remake. But perhaps it might do one day. I don't know. But I mean, if you can get more exposed to more different and a wider genre of games, and they're appreciated, then it all goes back to it all dovetails back into investment into specific studios to make specific games that we've all enjoyed or are about to enjoy.
Exactly.
Stop! You got a Gears of War problem, bro.
No, it's just I like to share the picture.
You have to look at
the score in the top
left. Look at the next time. Look at the score in the top left.
Look.
Stubbs does have a Gears addiction.
Stubbs, I'm gonna have to start calling you Marcus.
Saying that though, I haven't played it since I've got this. I haven't played it really. I've been playing Yakuza, and every time I complete a chapter, I let VJ know, and we have a conversation about it. We do.
One day, Stubbs Sam, we're gonna have to go and visit Tokyo together.
Amen.
Yeah.
Can I come watch all the food out?
I tell you what, it's food.
The food and arcades there, Mr. Tushi, you'll love it.
Yeah,
trust me.
If anyone didn't know, as Telegonic's pointing out, in the community game night DM, I changed it to Yakuza 0, and no one's changed it back yet.
I'm fed up with changing it, so I just left it.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what, if you can get to Tokyo or even get to Japan, I'll tell you, it's those that they actually have places there where you can just play games whilst drinking beer.
Well, based off Yakuza, I'd be terrified.
Exactly. It's literally, you can just go out with your mates, drink beer, have some food, and play games. That is the actual venue.
I'll tell you one thing, Removable. You've seen Harry Potter, the first movie, when he goes into the shop and to pick a wand.
Mm-hmm.
Goes into that higgledy shop.
Yep.
Just seems to just be a delight in every single corner, and you wish you could just rummage through the whole place. That is exactly what the retro gaming shops are like in Akihabara. They're incredible,
without doubt. Yeah,
like that. They're wonder. You can spend. I spent a whole day in 2 of them once, and it was just phenomenal because I bought so many games during the 80s and 90s, imports, and then
and the condition of the actual units, these existing units, is top tier quality.
Yep.
Like they'll knock it down, I don't know, 20, 30 quid if it has a slight discoloration through the sun.
Yep.
I mean,
they're actually, you say that, it's absolutely spot on, because you remember the Super Famicom games that used to come in those flimsy cardboard boxes. They actually cellophane or shrink wrap them, and they're actually better condition than when when the games used to ship out from Nintendo's warehouses in the first place.
Wow.
Trust me, if you like retro gaming,
Go to Japan.
those are the place, Japan, because they the pristine quality nature of them is amazing, and also the price themselves is actually very reasonable.
Yep.
They have a major retro culture over there. Oh, actually, they have a major gaming culture, to be honest with you, regardless whether it's new or retro. But there are some amazing shops for retro titles as well, and just the hardware and software.
Agreed. 100%.
Tushi,
what are you doing? Is that a
creating magic.
She's demoxing.
You mentioned Harry Potter, now he's putting things together.
Oh, you're talking power, I'm switching off. Until someone says food, I'll wake up again.
Food.
Cheeseburger.
sausage roll and apple pie.
That's a weird mix.
Not with Tushi, ain't.
Not with Tushi. Run of the mill for him.
I was going to try a pancake sandwich today. See what it tastes like.
Pancake sandwich.
Mm. Pancake with crisps. There you go.
Oh, yeah, or a Korean kimchi pancake.
I tried him a waffle earlier on and he thought it was bread.
Look like bread.
Try pancake and beans.
What's going on?
Just don't do Weetabix and beans.
That's a new thing,
Where
isn't
did
it?
they get that idea
that's
from?
that's whatever, yeah.
It's not a new thing.
Is it not?
Oh, no, it's just someone. It's just Weetabix being weird.
It shouldn't even be a thing.
Weetabix and beans, dear God.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Put it in his beard.
Just keep me away from beans.
Finding beans everywhere. It's great. That's another one. Another one.
Can you imagine trying to watch out Weetabix and beans out of Mr. Tushi's beard?
Oh no.
Oh dear.
It's like getting shit out of a carpet, wouldn't it?
Especially if they were all dried up. Oh my god. A crispy beard.
It's like,
Every time he gets something, he'd get a flavour of beans and Weetabix into him.
So it's like when I was younger, you used to get pissed and like you puke up on like you passed out and stuff all over your beard. And
Oh dear.
Vodka and corn.
my younger years, that was.
You're still
He
a
says
young
younger
man.
years. That was last year.
Yeah, you're still a young man.
I'm old now.
Yeah, you're old, mate. That's it. Yeah,
What was it you were called last week? A young Uncle Albert?
Yeah. Who called me that?
I can't remember who it was now.
I can't remember who it was.
Was it Indie Game? Was it Indie Gamer?
It might have been. Young Uncle Albert.
Does it make Stubbs Rodney?
Yeah, it was.
If I had fucking hair.
You're gonna have to get an anchor like tattoo on your forearm or something like Popeye.
It was indie, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Indie
You just
Gamer,
confirmed
awesome.
it.
Uncle Albert.
Speaking of Uncle Albert, I took my free wheeler at the one out of Only Fools and Horses. I took it on the community game night last week. I took it on the drag strip.
You win.
I beat. Who did I beat?
He made us do a race in it.
I beat a Veyron, didn't I? Was it a Chiron?
One of them, yeah. You made us do a race in it. It's got no turning. It just flips. I rolled it at least 5 times. Like, oh, what's going on?
It's great for drag racing.
Yes.
Put it this way: it's a Reliant Robin with a drag tune. It's got 750 horsepower, I think, but it weighs like 400 kilos, so it just literally flies.
It's perfect for straight lines.
Yeah. And it's free-wheel drive as well.
Mm-hmm.
Too tush, too furious.
Yep.
Indeed.
And it was also the main enemy of Mr. Bean.
The blue one.
That was that's when I painted my Reliant Robin blue.
I love it when we go off the rails on this podcast and then Stubbs.
It's good, isn't it?
Stubbs sound just
I'm just sitting there listening to you all.
Yes, you're sitting there listening to us.
He's sitting there banging his head against the wall, going for bloody. Look, we're supposed to be about gaming.
Okay, sorry.
Short one.
Gaming, talking about Forza.
I know this is a game that everyone doesn't like, and the Marvel Avengers reveals the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S release date for the next gen patch. 18th of March. Are any of you playing it?
Yes.
Nope.
What game was it again?
Marvel
Avengers.
The Marvel.
No.
I played the demo, and that's about as far as it, really.
I would have liked it if they put free roam. That would have been nice.
I haven't completed it yet, but there's no surprise to anybody.
If they made a Marvel game like they did with the Lego Marvel games, I'd be happy with that.
Well, yeah,
Well, they did do.
They were good.
They did do a very well. There was a Marvel game. It was called Marvel Avengers. Omega. It was something Omega. It was something Omega, and it was a brilliant game. But it was a top down.
It was a bit like
game.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance, wasn't it?
Yes, but it's called Mega Heroes. That was it. And ironically, it's the one game that all of a sudden the service shut down, and I lost the game access to it. So I actually got to get a refund for it because I lost access to the game completely. Because I think it was due to some sort of licensing agreement, and they lost access not only to the service, to the game itself. But it was that would have been brilliant. That's just me though.
I did enjoy it. I only played as Venom though. That was the only character I'd play as.
I think the problem is what it seems. I've not played it. There's no longevity in it at all. Once it's done, it's done, and there's only if you're going to do with the grinding aspect of it, it's worth it. But I couldn't see myself doing it, so I just thought, nah, not for me. Basically,
that's fair enough. It is. I just stopped playing it because, well, I did.
Well, it just kind of does.
I think it was bigged up. It was bigged up a lot.
Yeah.
Well, the question really needs to be asked: if they're doing this as a series, it's a Series X update. Am I correct in hearing what you just said?
Yeah, and the PS5 update.
Well, what was this done? Was this already in the works when they were starting to issue it out previously? Because what is the player base of this game so far? I can't imagine it, and I could be completely wrong. I can't imagine it being very high.
Let me check.
So,
it was in the thousands? I don't think it was in millions, because you got certain people kicked off because Spider-Man was only going to PlayStation, so they lost a lot of pre-orders for that. I don't cancelled my pre-order for that.
You get this because it's to do with the Hawkeye pack. Well, I might have read this article wrong. It mentions the Hawkeye pack is released on the March 18th.
Yeah, it's
that's a DLC, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all free DLC.
It mentions the release date for the. So it must be the update.
It's just basically them going, we've recreated the same game. Nothing's changed. We're putting it on Series X. Congratulations. You can buy it all over again.
I won't be buying it.
Yeah, no.
You say that.
Buy it because you buy everything.
That's one game I haven't bought.
Because I know a lot of people that were caught out by that. Because I know someone that has a PlayStation and he's got an Xbox. He says, "Oh, I can't wait to play as Spider-Man." So
they lost 96% of their players.
But I said to him, I said, read the box. What do you mean? I said, just read the box. He couldn't. So I had to send him a screenshot. I just read that. I did not see that. So he was on the box though. But Spider-Man, the problem is you got to kind of. This is the problem here. Marvel don't actually own Spider-Man. Sony owned the Spider-Man IP for games. So you can't blame them for doing what they've done. This is the problem. It's bad. Yes, it's anti-consumer, right? But they do own the IP for it. Disney don't own it, you see.
I'll give it another year. Disney's going to find a way.
Disney would have to reacquire it off them. There's no way to pull the character back. It was.
Did you see how much Disney
think...
was asked? They said, "Oh, right, you can buy it off us, but you got to give us this much." And Disney went, "No, fuck you." No.
Yeah,
they were asking for damn money, like stupid
money. I think when Spider-Man was acquired back in the day, it was then owned by just Marvel. Marvel were in a bad place money-wise, and they sold X-Men, didn't they, as well, and the Hulk. They basically started selling off different characters. But Disney's not going to give up. They're going to get Spider-Man back. That's what they want. They're going to wait for Sony to be fucked. The weird thing is, though, they own the IP, but the merchandising rights, and this is where Marvel Marvel bought it back when Sony was struggling. They bought the merchandising rights, not to the games, the merchandising rights. And they make $2.3 billion off the merchandise alone without a game or film being released. That's not bad, isn't it? I don't think they'll get. Sony ain't struggling, and they won't be. I don't think they ever will be. Again, they're in a good place now. They are.
They'll be fine.
I think Sony would sell for the right price.
Yep.
It's all money.
If they could get a massive influx of cash, they could then spend within their business for a purchase of some kind, I think they'd take it every day of the week. But it'd have to be worth their while.
It'd have to be big. Yeah. I mean, big.
Bethesda.
But bigger than the Bethesda deal.
Sony asked for $10 billion to give back the web slinger, basically, and Disney went.
We're not. Actually, $10 billion. That's
reasonable.
That ain't. Disney, to be honest with you, that's not. Yeah, to be honest with you, I would have. If it was Disney, I would have snapped that up because that's. Look, for the IP, that's not bad for what you're getting.
Yeah, removable. To Venomous' point, I think they pay the $10 billion, but looking that they've only paid $4 billion for the whole of Marvel, now they've got to pay $10 billion. You can understand why they're reluctant to do so. But but the thing is,
Venom's owned by Sony.
Yeah, I mean, they went and bought. Well, then I would counter that argument and to contradict myself. Well, they went and paid $72 billion for Fox to get back the X-Men and the Hulk license. So
exactly.
At the end of the day, it's musical chairs, and it's Sony made a wise investment, and they've made unwise investments in the past as well. And so, why shouldn't they benefit from a $10 billion purchase? But then again, Disney, if you look at them, they've got an incredible amount of debt.
Massive. People don't realise the debt they're in. Them buying Fox nearly put them in a hole.
Yeah, I mean, and the COVID scenario with all their theme parks has actually really impacted their cash flow.
Plus the cinemas.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I have no sympathy for corporations one way or the other. What I do care about is why these headsets are $99 and not $79.99.
Well, they're $89.99.
Why?
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Here's the bigger question. Why are we getting them for free as Game Pass members? It should be a perk.
Yeah, well, I think they should be included with the Xbox Series X when Venomous actually gets around to picking one up, and Al.
It might be by that time.
Yeah, I think they should be.
I will get one. When
the headset?
Series X.
Yeah, me too.
When I can be bothered.
Thanks for stopping by, Fastback. I appreciate that. I presume your internet's been knocked out by snow, then, mate. I appreciate you stopping by.
Stubstan, I just wanted to see if Removable had anything else further to say on the whole Spider-Man thing.
I think we've covered it a few times before.
I think what they're going to do, they're going to wait for Venom 2. As soon as they see what happens with Venom 2, then Disney's going to think, what should we do now? Because as soon as they do this last Spider-Man, that's it. That Spider-Man's done. That's the end of that Spider-Man.
Yeah, but they still own Spider-Man still. So
at this rate, they're gonna have more Spider-Mans than the fucking comics.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna make a Miles Morales next, not the cartoon
Thanks for stopping
version.
by, likely lad. Yeah, you're probably right.
There is an
Did anyone-
untapped wealth of Spider-Man stuff to even hit yet. You haven't got the multiverses, you've got individual
Yeah.
aspects, you've got the previous, Spider-Man 2077, you've got Spider-Man Noir, there are fundamentally huge elements to try and get into. The biggest question is, and unfortunately due to the pandemic, Disney has probably missed their opportunity because, as we've just mentioned, they are in phenomenal debt. I don't think the Spider-Man film or the upcoming merchandise funds they're going to get out of the games and the film is going to recover them in any position.
No.
It's now going to take them a phenomenal amount of time to recover this aspect. And remember, they've got Disney Plus as well. So they're spending a fortune in that aspect. And at the moment, that's going through a bit of a controversy. So, to be honest with you, I think Sony isn't going to get rid of... I don't think Spider-Man will be coming probably in the next 5 or 10 years. With what the pandemic and with all the other aspects that's happening, unless Disney has some sort of huge influx of cash from somewhere, it isn't going to happen.
Yeah, because Sony does have more cash on hand and less debt than Disney.
Yep.
Yes, true. It is.
Unless Microsoft decides to go, oh, you know what? Should we buy Spider-Man?
Because the
It's
problem
not
is,
worth their weight. It's not worth their weight. So let's
worth
face it.
Plus the fact there's tons of characters in the DC and Marvel universe, and Xbox
Here's
hasn't
a
even
question
tried,
for you guys.
they've not even tried to pick one up, have they?
What video game character from the Marvel universe would you like to be made into a video game? I think Deadpool would be interesting. I did like the first Deadpool game they brought out. Then it got banned.
Well, they have made a few Deadpool games, actually. There is a couple that have actually made it through. To be honest with you, it's one of those things. If you look, the Marvel series has a fundamentally larger plethora of characters which can be utilized. The question is going to come down from a purely financial perspective. What's going to sell? And ironically, it'll be within the realms of the most well-known. You'll probably, they are pushing some of the lesser-known characters now through some of the films and through Disney Plus to try and, I would say, kind of bump those characters up so they can then move forward into it. Black Widow, I'm not saying she's not well-known. She is exceptionally well-known. And they are trying, as you can see, they're trying to push her heavily now in terms of the actual characters, the games, the films. It's one of those things. It's probably going through what is going to be the most financially viable for them. And again, I reckon it's just going to be set within the odd 15 or 20 most well-known characters that we already know. You're not going to get the, the Wasp.
I think to answer your question, I think Spider-Man was the one I've always wanted, but looking at the sour taste that the Avengers has left in Square Enix's mouth at this present stage, I can't think of too many publishers, even first party, even developers taking on a Marvel character at this stage.
Did they ever get their money back?
Yeah.
Because they lost out, didn't they?
No, they lost loads of money. That's
67 million, I think.
Wow.
In the hole at the moment. And actually, it's a question for Al. Al, what would you like to see if money was no object? What Marvel?
63 million they lost.
I could buy 20 of them servers with that money.
I'd rather have another Yakuza.
I don't know. I think they could potentially reboot some of the unknown X-Men, to be fair. Not your likes of Wolverine and stuff like that, but some of the lesser known ones. Maybe you could have a two-way story of bad and good. I think I'd like to see something like that. Sort of flip between the two. I don't know. The point was made earlier that the Lego Marvel ones were a lot better than the actual Marvel ones. Some of those Lego Marvel games are really good stories.
Mhm.
And the
I
way
think
that
Lego games in general, they
and the
like
way
the
that
new
they-
Star
and-
Wars are coming
yeah,
out. It looks nuts.
the way that they flipped between characters and story arcs amongst that, I reckon you could do a really good X-Men in that vein, but not Lego. You could have quite a good not an open world, but a third person view story driven X-Men, but unknown ones.
Yeah. But how sad is it that Lego made a better Marvel game than a billion-dollar company that made Tomb Raider?
Oh yeah, but
Oh,
to
don't
be
don't
fair,
knock it. Lego's a $1 billion company in its own right. Trust me, it's the amount of Lego games that are out
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
They have picked. They're like Nintendo in a way, and a very lesser Nintendo. They know their market like nobody's business.
That's
These
exactly what I was gonna
games
say,
not
yeah.
only pick up the adults, it picks up the child aspect. It's probably some of the very few games that hits every age range.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
there isn't. I don't think you know. Some games will say, "Oh, this is just for the adults. This is just for the children." That is a game. Those games are perfectly suited to any age range. Oh, sorry, it transcends. Yes, that's the perfect terminology.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah,
I'll give you,
it's
I'll
got
gi-
the humour for the adults, but it's also got the fun play for the kids.
I will give you an example. The game I really enjoyed playing through was actually Lego Indiana Jones.
Yes,
And the thing
I
is,
knew you was going to say that.
Yes.
it wasn't me that wanted to play. It was my 9-year-old. He was then 8. Dad, can we play this? And he would not
Mhm.
let me put it down until we finished it. So your point stands. It wasn't me. He said, "Can we get that? That looks good." Yeah, we'll play it
Yep.
together. So we did it co-op. He absolutely loved it. He would never know what Indiana Jones was without the Lego
Mhm.
games.
That was my favourite Lego game. That was
Brilliant.
on
Absolutely
the
brilliant.
360. It's brilliant. That was.
Mm. And as I said, I wouldn't rule them out. I think we kind of, in a way, it's a little bit. We look at the Lego games as, oh, it's just a kids' game. No, it's not. I mean, some of the puzzles themselves, I was swearing at some of those puzzles. Like, how can anyone who's 5 work this out and I can't? You know, honestly, it's like, Jesus Christ, how is this working? And they are just perfect. They know their market off by heart. They've nailed it on the head where they can get anybody.
Yeah, but they've learned that through iterations, haven't they?
Oh well, let's face it. The very Star Wars ones had no speaking, and then it slowly progressed speaking. The actual voice work into the games themselves. You know, it was very much about humor through action. Then it kind of added that into with the actual voice work. Again, it's a progression, and they're updating as every new game seems to have something slightly different. But I was always in awe of just how well they hit their target audience, which ironically is everybody. I think the only ones that probably didn't do well was the statue ones, where you could, wasn't there a Lego series where you could I don't know, put your character onto a plate or something and it would then
Lego
translate it into
Lego Dimension.
Yes. I don't know how well that did, but that didn't seem to kick off as well.
They
I could be wrong.
discontinued that, didn't they?
That's what I thought.
But they did the same thing for Disney Infinity and all that as well. People just don't want to spend 20 quid on a character. It's just
Don't talk to me about Disney Infinity.
That wasn't it. Disney Infinity released 100. They released that many figures. People got fed up with them, and it was the same with
you had to buy
Skylanders.
the next. You had to buy the next game. Like there was 1.0, then 2.0, then 3.0, and then it went, nah, we're done.
Skylanders too.
Tushi, you're making me tired.
I am tired.
I am.
Yeah, my kids are obsessed with bloody Disney Infinity. It cost me a fortune, them bloody characters.
Mm.
Get it on PC. You get all the characters.
Yeah, it's true.
I found that out the hard way.
Then when they not finished collecting them all, but they had most of them, they decided to go on to something else. They're just bored of that now. Then they just got a box full of fucking characters where they just gave away to one of their friends in the end.
Just gave them away.
A good few hundred quid's worth, didn't they?
Yep, we're
When did that happen?
living in a modern age of plentiful and ungratefulness, right, and entitlement. So, especially for the younger generation these days, and we're sitting here witnessing it. But yeah, I hope Mr. Stubbs' son is sitting there dressed in his kimono while broadcasting the show.
VJ, what's this about Only Fools and Horses Lego?
Yeah, I was just saying,
I
I'm
mean,
talking
that'd be awesome.
with Indie Gamer.
Yeah, that would be.
That would, yeah,
That
Mr.
would
Bean
sell.
Lego.
It's the been the Only Fools and Horses, Del Boy and Rodney and Uncle
Yeah.
Al. Sorry, Uncle Tushi.
Uncle Tushi, yeah.
Uncle Tushi. Oh dear.
Anyway, it's been a good show tonight, and it's been a good laugh at us. I think we'll end it there. We will.
Can't have
But,
too much thing.
No, it's been a good laugh at us, as always. Thanks for coming on, and I won't call you Mr. Tushi because everyone's got to learn now. He's Tushi Gaming.
Trying to change.
Thanks for
Trying to
coming
be
on.
friends.
Where can we find you?
You can find me here on Midweek Gaming every Wednesday. You can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, Twitch, and Twitter. Everywhere's Mr. Tushi or Tushi Gaming. I'm trying to change it all. That's about it.
What about weekends?
Oh, I'm that tired. I forgot about that one. Community game night this week. We're going to be playing Formula One Full Simulation on Friday, which should be a good challenge. Hopefully, I'll pick a good track this time.
Or the right track?
Or the
one we
right track.
practiced on. The one we spent an hour practicing on, yeah?
It was an even race in the end, wasn't it?
It was good.
Killer road.
And then on Saturday, we're playing Forza Horizon 4 and Wreckfest. Mainly because Wreckfest is in Game Pass now, and a lot more people can play it because that's one game we play a lot. It's one game we play a lot, but it's not in Game Pass, so it's a big win for us anyway.
It is as of tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie, make sure you get loads of try and go on the campaign and get some money because you're going to be left in the dust with the C-Class car. Anyway, over to you, Stubbs.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Animated Evil, taking over the podcast landscape. Where can we find you?
So you will find me maybe.
Hey y'all.
You will. Hey y'all. You will find me here every single Wednesday as long as the invitation lasts. It's an absolute blast as always talking to you guys in the chat. During the week coming up, I am now part of Four Guys with Quarters. So there is a new show launching on that channel that I am a part of. I've not been on there yet, but watch this space. Weekends, I'm with this honourable Mr. Tushi over there, Tushi Gaming. Just a word, I'll emulate what he said. Join us on Fridays and Saturdays. But if you are going to join us on Forza, make sure you unlock the multiplayer before weekend. It'll take you a couple of hours. He forgot to mention that.
I did.
And on a Sunday, I am back on again on the Flemish Experience. You can find me. This outro's getting ridiculous. You can find me on Twitter, animated_evil, where you will find everywhere else you can find me.
Thanks for coming on.
Back to Mr. Stubbs.
Thanks for coming on, VJ. Where can we find you?
Thanks for having me on the show, Mr. Stubbs. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you can find me on this
PG
show.
Tips Factory.
Yep, PG Tips Factory. Dishing out free kimonos. You can find me on this show. You can find me on Boom's show tomorrow. And there is something else happening, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it. So
You are.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hey?
I'm about to plug it.
Oh, are you?
No.
Okay, go ahead. You plug it. And
You co-host with Crack Gamer. That's a joke.
I didn't get that. Actually,
Yeah, you won't get it. Don't worry.
You're going to wave that device around that you're waving around sniffing last week. I don't know.
Now I've got a lollipop now. I don't need that.
He's unfortunately he's got it installed this week.
Oh, God. But, I sometimes occasionally join the two lads, Mr. Tushi and Animated Evil, on the community gaming night when it's not too crazy.
Yeah, that's
Silence.
good to hear. Thanks for coming on, VJ.
Thank you, sir.
Removal Sanity, where can we find you?
Oh, blimey.
Thanks
Well,
for coming on.
thank you for again letting me talk. It's always nice to listen to myself talk to everybody. I said I will be on here as long as Tushi can put up with me. I can also be found on Twitter, Minds, and Xbox under the name Removal Sanity. So anywhere along there, you can find me there.
Good to hear.
That's it.
And you did a very good job. You did, Lewis, for your first podcast. You did. Thanks for stopping by. I'll get this right.
Venom.
Venomous. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to say.
Venomous AK.
That's it. Venomous AK.
47.
Where can we find you?
I just want to say thanks, guys, for giving me this taster of what it feels like to be on a podcast. Thanks for all the people in the comments who were welcoming and asking questions and stuff. You can find me on Twitter at Venomous AK. I stream on Twitch every day after work, so around 2 p.m. my time in England at Venomous AK. What else? Oh, and check out BG4G Hub. We actually are looking for people, so if you're interested, message Master Mayhem UK or Tom Wild. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
How's your
thanks for
nerves
coming on.
after?
Dude, I'm shaking.
Still,
Have a beer.
You're fine, don't
You're
worry.
fine.
You're doing well. You're doing good. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, I had a few girls come in and say that as well. They were like, "Oh, you done well." I'm like, "Don't lie to me."
Anyway, yeah.
I've been drinking more Monster than I've ever drank in my life.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming to watch the show as always. You can find me on Twitter at Stubbs Gaming, 2Zs though. You can find me on this channel. Please press subscribe if you haven't. Also, I've got the Stubbscast finally returns this Sunday. I've got 5 p.m. EST, 10 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. PST, and I'm interviewing Randall 419. So that'll be fun. And also, the Indie Games podcast is back this Saturday. If you didn't know, let's have a look. I believe I haven't got the full lineup though. Indie Gamer and Puxley, and I think VJ's on the show. I don't know if I just got myself into trouble then, but I've announced it. Always like to plug indie shows. I do. I don't know about the rest of the guests. You have to find out. But I'm sure he'll make an announcement in due course. 8 p.m. this Saturday night on his YouTube channel. Please tune in for some indie goodness. And you might get a taste of, I don't know exactly, but he's been playing Hollow Knight and he's nearly completed it. He may talk about Hollow Knight. You never know.
Is that indie?
No. VJ.
Yep. I hope I can equip myself as well as Removable did on the Indie Gamer show the other week.
Yeah, you're doing very well, incredibly well.
And I'm not sure if I can quite meet his standard of quality. So yeah, I'm nervous.
I'm sure you can, VJ.
Indian Lord Cognito over there. I was just the little person in the middle, just having a chat there.
I like you doing really well, even when you hadn't played the said game. But fair play to he went out there and he completed it because Lord Cog was like, "You've got to sort this out," and you completed it though.
Absolutely.
But no, yes, it should be fun Saturday. I'll definitely tune in. And yeah, Removable, you were definitely a good guest. Hopefully in the future, Indy has you on. I can't see why not. You've done a good job. You did. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and watching. Please share the stream out. I know a lot of you have. I appreciate that. Please like the video, subscribe, and if you download it on podcast networks, that some people do, and I do know last week's Midweek Gaming isn't up yet. That's due to me not having the internet. So next day or two, they'll both appear on Spotify, etc. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, everyone, and I'll see you all soon.
Bye, guys.
Nice.
It's nice.
Hello.
Lollipop.